Hello everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I finally got some time to do some sharpening. So these knives were loaned to me by a buddy of mine, a subscriber, and a friend on Instagram as well. These two knives that I'm going to be working on, one will be for a different video, but I just wanted to give a heads up of a possible future video that I'd be doing. These are very standard models of two very popular companies. Here we have the incredible Spyderco Para 3, the small, a little bit more compact version of the Para 2, the little bit larger one. This is in S30V, and it has the DLC coating on here. Now, despite what happens with DLC coatings as it's applied, it may lower the HRC by 1. Whatever kind of nonsense is going on, I'm going to kind of take that out of a factor of how this knife will perform versus this. And what is this, you might ask? Well, this is none other than a Griptilian by the Benchmade company. And if you are longtime viewers of my channel, you know that I don't own anything from Benchmade anymore because I just personally don't find value. And if something does not have value through and through, or I am not completely head over heels about it, it doesn't deserve to be in my collection. I rather sell it and get the money and get something else that I'm actually going to enjoy, because that is what makes up my collection. Now, this is also a piece of S30V, and the stock thickness is, I will say, a little bit bigger on this guy right here, and the performance is going to be a little bit different, but I want to see how these things actually feel. As far as I know, these both look to be like factory edges. But I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen them up, do some testing, see if I actually feel anything different. Because when talking about blade materials to educate other people, or maybe just to know what someone else is talking about, when I go watch somebody else's content and they're talking about their experience of a certain blade material, one of the things that I've been noticing that keeps coming up is people are tired of S30V being in a certain price bracket. And with a lot of recent stuff that's been going on surrounding Crucible, and I think it's finally being auctioned off, somebody is interested in buying it, which is really cool. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm sure a lot of other people are happy to hear that as well. But Eric Lesser, on some recent content made with Knife Center with David C. Anderson, they were doing like a little sit-down interview thing, the cool stuff. I love watching all that kind of stuff, right? And I'm sure you guys will know the video that I'm talking about if you follow Knife Center's YouTube channel as well. But the guy from Spyderco, the guy who's running the thing, says S30V is not going away. He loves that stuff. I'm not too sure why. I have experienced it in the past before. I have sharpened it before, and there's nothing that's really special about it. I want to know why it's so special to him, and maybe there is some content on why it is so special to him, and I just haven't found it yet. But if you know out there the reason why S30V is so special to Spyderco, let me know, educate me. I'm reaching out to the community for education purposes. But all I'm going to be doing is sharpening this guy. It has a good bit of wear. The edge is like half rolled. The tip has a good chip, and right before the tip, there are two little chips, a major roll, and the tip is actually blunted. On this one right here, the edge, structurally speaking, visually speaking, is absolutely perfect. No chips, no rolls, no blunted tip or nothing. It's dull as shit though. So let's see what happens. So for the purpose of testing S30V, I went ahead and put a really quick edge. Realistically, I wouldn't send something out looking like this. If you can see down here in this area, I went ahead and put a sharpening trail, but there are some deeper scratches that were made in the lower grit stones that I had that I probably should have spent more time buffing out. But really my main thing that I was after is fixing that chipped and blunted tip. It has been completely restored. I'm very happy with that. I mean, S30V, it's a good simple steel to sharpen. I'd put it there with the real feel of maybe CPM-154, 154CM, 14C28N, stuff like that. Nitro V, I put it in that category of steel. This is nowhere near super steel. Maybe, you know, maybe 10 years ago it might have been, but nowadays there are just so many more things in Spyderco's own lineup that blow this thing in the water and make it completely obsolete. Nice, super aggressive edge. So this was 17 degrees. Looks pretty good, looks pretty healthy. Not too big of an edge bevel. Pretty even on both sides. Happy about that. And 600 grit, if I didn't already say that. But that is pretty much it on this thing. So I'll do testing. I'll gather thoughts to speak a little bit more about the steel. I know I'm not going to find anything new that hasn't already been said. I just want to be able to talk about S30V a little bit more confidently in the future. So this is really just a log for myself as well, and some hopefully entertaining content for anybody that cares. And then after I do my sharpening and after I do my testing and stuff like that, cardboard destruction, real basic stuff, I'll go ahead and sharpen again and make sure to put a little bit more detail back here in this area, because I wouldn't want my personal knife looking like that. So I will definitely fix that up before this gets sent out to my buddy. Okay, so I didn't bother recording my sharpening of the Griptilian. This is a full-size one right here. This is an S30V, just as this Para 3 right here. So they both have damn near the same exact edge. I stopped at 400 grit. This is 17 degrees. This is 16 degrees. This is much thinner behind the edge than this is, as well as stock thickness. I believe the Spyderco is a smidge thinner, but you can definitely see that the tip strength is a very, very big difference there. I already did some testing with this, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do with S30V. Is 400 grit too low? Should I keep going further up? Because I'm just not getting the kind of performance that I thought I'd be getting, that I would get from technically lower grade blade materials. I mean, like 14C28N, for example, one of my favorite budget blade materials, as well as Nitro V. At 400 grit, those things have some disgusting bite. And this, it just feels kind of slick. And I know how to sharpen. I'm pretty decent at sharpening. As well as this thing. I made a couple passes, and it's got the look. It just doesn't have the same amount of bite that I thought that it would. It just feels a little slick. I am making a burr properly. I can feel it. I'm knocking it off and everything. And the S30V is an interesting blade material. I know it's old, but to me it's interesting because I want to know what the hell is so great about it, and why Spyderco wants to keep putting out brand new models in this blade material. It's very, very underwhelming, and honestly I'm really disappointed in my current experiences with S30V. So I'm gonna use up these edges. I'm gonna freaking destroy them, go through a lot of cardboard, really just doing some edge retention tests and seeing how these things feel bite wise. And then when I go to sharpen them, I'm probably gonna go up to 600 grit. Maybe at 600 it'll refine them a little bit more, but by the time you you guys see this video, I'm sure plenty of you guys will you know, give your input on what you think is the best grit for S30V, whether you own the Para 3 or the Griptilian. Let me know what kind of edges you put on your respective models and what you think about the two. Personally speaking, I had a much nicer time sharpening this because this already has a nice plunge grind and sharpening trail in a way, and being able to stop right at that tip and not round it off, I felt very confident in doing that. This I had to go and put in a sharpening trail just because the stones that I work with, they just wouldn't allow me to get in there nice and tight because of how Spyderco does their execution. This is a very common thing. All of my Spyderco knives, I've done the same thing. Past Spyderco knives that I've owned, I've done the same thing, and it's just, it helps out a lot. But going out to the tip, I'm used to sharpening Spyderco knives, so I'm good at not falling off the tip and rounding it off accidentally. But I didn't think I'd ever be saying this, but I think I might like the Benchmade more than this Spyderco, and it's taking a lot for me to say that because I do not fuck with Benchmade whatsoever anymore. But that's just, you know, that's just my current thoughts at the moment. We'll get into more differences and findings a little bit later on, but if any of this was entertaining or educational to you, or you want to go and add in your input into the comment section, you are more than welcome to do so. If you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing because I put my videos and content coming you guys this way. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.